Awusia, new twist in NPP, omo 2026 presidential primaries. Sisi ya amene mo kasa idea. Aka less than 20 days no mo de elections na hyehyɛ so. New twist ebi aba ewo election polls ahodo a amanfo omo yɛ research efa elections ho na omo timi determine nipa a obewi ni elections nempo ebi a several weeks before say ye de election no ankasa ba hyehyɛ so no. New twist bi abamu wo hono mo a enya asem ketua na se yebeka ya me the polls bebre na abremu e wa yeka TV so a emu fa dodo na no na Kennedy Akompre Japan any Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia all polls aba abontin nyina no omo ye research na kire se between Kennedy Akompre Japan any Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia it is some of the polls ni bi wo hono mo a na otimi wo se Kennedy Akompre Japan in a lead with huge margin ebi wo ho so a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia any leader the obe leading no so o lead with huge margin ani nyina no me de ehho asem ebre mu na ka me akoye se ye see 2026 year aka few weeks na elections no ye de akwa hyehyɛ so no ka me akoye se enya de a eye new post bia no aba beto abonti a kyerɛkyerɛ how our elections no ebekɔ se bia delegates ni bi previously omo ka so ometo ama candidate no say bi o masesa o madwen hu say bi a omo nsesa o madwen hu enya ade a pose bia aba beto abonti na emom finally na Musa Dankwah mo ene omo camp omo de pose a enya asenketoa aba beto abonti a omo explain the new twister akoso ewo NPP for omo presidential primaries a enche bia no obekono according to camp no muchiri mu a ensakraye bi abam ama decision making bi akoso a delegate bi a na in the beginning omo ye omadwen se ombeto ama candidate no because of numerous neoma a ekoso ewa amanyuku anim ene numerous campaigns a sa delegate for mienu omo ye nti ama some of the delegates ababonten ababe anase oma change omu decisions amu making initially no as he said oma decide say omu be vote aba no e ama the other opponent enya asenke 20 delegates dodo omu nyina no oma make new decisions so na new post no twist na abamu no percentage ben na as say candidate bia no ahuri akwa say bi de so ate say ebi de ebi ababe ka ho nyina no waye ehun analysis ni nyina abusua ebi aba ka yensa yenso ebebo awram na yakwa akotie emu nsem nyina nti ebeso se wonya subscribe ya no abomode anu subscribe comment section ho nso na wa twere waje no ama yehu se elections ne de Kennedy Akompre Japan ana Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia yembo awram ni nkotie mu asem nyina.
Come to Global Info Analytics. This morning, today the 12th of January 2026, we're reviewing an interesting revelation or data that we put out there yesterday regarding the NPP primaries. Now, what we've been doing is to try to understand better the voting behavior of the NPP delegates. And beside what we've been asking them who would you want to vote for, we've adopted a model that was used in the US in 2016 and 2020 to predict accurately the outcome of the 2020 and 2016 elections in the US. Why did he get it right? What did he do differently? And that's what we are doing at Global Info Analytics. We don't want surprises in the MP primary, so we are approaching this in a different way. Now, it is proven in those occasions that people were eager to talk about how others are voting rather than how they themselves will be voting. So they are quite happy to say, oh, my neighbor is voting for A, my neighbor is voting for B. But as for me, he will tell you something different. So this gentleman, a Frenchman called, what's his name? Theo propounded this theory that, look, let's use the neighbor's effect and see if we ask them, who do you think your neighbor is voting for? We might know the true picture of what is going to happen. So he did that, and from what he did, the poll showed on 2 occasions that Trump was going to win the popular vote. And he also used the same method to predict that Trump was going to win 5 out of the 7 battleground states in America. And he did. So why are we employing this tool here? Look, NPP delegates are not talking that much. A lot of them are saying undisclosed, undecided. But to find a way of really going through their head to see what they think the other friends are doing, we use this method, what we call the neighbors effect. So we ask them, who do you think your friend delegates are going to be voting for in this election? So in that way, we are able to go through their minds and to see actually what they will do. So we adopted this approach, and we are seeing a lot more insight from this analysis that we are doing. Now, let me take you through this data briefly, because yesterday some news reporters were reporting it, and I felt I should come here and explain things to you better. Now, in the December poll of delegates that we released on 24th, after that date, we've done 2 more weekly tracking polls, which we are not putting the entire report out there. So we're just sharing the tidbits from this neighbors effect that we have done in these 3 polls. Today, the 12th, we're commencing another round of polling, which will end on Friday. Daily tracking poll until Friday. And the week after, another tracking poll daily until the Friday. So when we did the delegate polls in the December, when we asked people using likely voters model, we asked them, who do you think your fellow delegates will be voting for in the upcoming NPP primaries?
Eti Musa Dankwah explanation just woma on the neighbors poll no no just end just wo chirema e say yakwa na bia yakwa obi owo eye Kennedy wo na bia yakwa kobisa no o ha wadamfu obeto amanwan we obeto amanwan enye wan kasa wo de nipa obeto amanwan but wa ha we obeto amanwan we obeto amanwan eno ene ye say the neighbors poll no odi hu nkomo.
Those who mention names, we call this committed model. Bawumia gets 58 points, roughly 7%, or say 59%. And Kennedy got 38%. Brian got 3%. So the delegates were telling us that they believe by this margin that their fellow delegates are voting this way. But that's not how they are voting, no. They think that this is how their friend delegates are voting. Now, when we started the week commencing 29th December till I think 2nd January, those who think their fellow delegates are voting for Bawumia has shot up from 59% to 62%. From 59 to 62%. But those who think that their friend delegates are voting for Ken has dropped from 38% to 32%. And those who think their friends are voting for Brian has moved from 3% to 5%. So you can see that that's not how they are voting themselves, no. But they are saying this is what their friends delegate they think might be doing. Now, over the last week, the week ended, I think, 9th January or so, when the poll was repeated, Bawumia remains largely at 62%. He has not changed marginally. I mean, from 62.1 to 61.6, so same 2%, 62% within the same range. And Kennedy remained largely the same, or largely maybe 33%, 1% up from the previous week. And Brian is on 55.4%, but 0.4% increase. So you can see that in that week, the poll barely moved in terms of who they think their neighbors are voting for. No, this is a theory that has been propounded in the US. And we are trying to replicate that theory here to see if it works. So this is nothing but mere academic exercise. Try to prove a theory, just like in any academic field. Theories are propounded elsewhere, and it is repeated elsewhere to see whether it is valid or not. So it is not how the race could go, but it may give us an insight as to what could happen. What could happen? And that's what makes this very interesting. We have not released the voting intention of the delegates, but we are just putting up how they think their friend delegates might vote on election day. It's very insightful. This is the first time we're doing this in this country. It's a polling. Polling is an evolving field. New techniques come in, we employ them, test them. If they work, we stick with them. If they don't work, we jettison them. So this is a way of enriching the academic discourse and trying to broaden new areas of study, which other people can take it up one day and do further studies. Those doing MPhil, PhD, over to you. We're just testing to see if there is any reason to believe that it works. If it works, we could employ this one in primaries and even in general election to see whether there are divergence between the real poll and neighbors effect poll. Thank you very much for joining us.
Weakness, but to me, a mastery of authority. Eja say the bread no say. Now, if you are able to tame fire, then it means that you are a master. I believe said you will be actually be an or entitled said you're better but for me any weakness a crime say nipa no odwene nipa ho
you so say a mastery of
what
thank you thoughts notice and no thank you
Mrs. Sanadren am I room freezer wo hwe me video am name Mr. Carter ya me ka se me to aba meto ama akompre ko Canada Japan na ni edinti but me nkom share ne de me hu ye no na owura ba o me na awi ni ade amaka de da onye se bia me wo platform so de me maka ebe mu asedan ka onyame amamu a me ni problem bia because onyame otimi sesa na adwene de me hunu ye eno no aha me hunu ye nte ya de da wa me nko se me ko bo ho mpa ye se mbrem so onyame no ade wada na di a kire me no se fata se ebe mu a o ma ne mbrem se ni kwan so ye ni ye hwe aniwa ebi akomam kro onyame se mi yi kire o se de bia obebo mpa ye atwamu a ni nyina ayo onyankopon wase but me de me hu ye ensesa se yi raba omi ana obefa ayi no se nyankopon ya adom na wa mfa nyi anu no se na bia makotie nyame ni yi na mabɔ me mpa yi na matena mbaabi we nya afi na me bebu me ko mu bia debi na me mfa bi bia nto so nya chacha nji wo de ebe mu no ya sedan kan nyame me nu ni chacha bia na me kase maka we nti waja asɔre enya yi bia mesere wa
say ye nyina e free kro baako sɔre anopa on the trail of school fees on a ma chop money na ye nim si e free kro baako no am chop money every day. I will create opportunity for you employment. So boy, mon Phyllis are forming. This is a social contract between minimum Council of Elder was some party nature fele fa oba ana wonana edin hye ye bemma oba ana wonana adwuma ahwe almunyam. It is a bread party. How many hours and a in the name of NPP and me? Now, it will never happen. We are going to go by these forms. Executives now, you know, positions, you know. Who signed Alaji, they will appoint the only first president. Member appointment. Member Alaji appointment. Number making sure say may they form the account. Go and employ party people. They will have one go to the ball since the same year. Okay, now they call it guess. May you when you Alaji. Now, the way Omukasa, Mimo Hobium, not just a man, Papa. But your position, you are deputy coordinator. Youth. Hey, I propose any other suspect. Adia or a suspect and back. Say you to idiot. What they say? Why would you have some? I grow. Eti mo fele because Mahama obaye wayi NPP for ni. What is Ghana for complaining? Say wafa Togo for, wafa Benin for, wafa Ivorians. Say obi ankasa ebi so mo ye Ghana for. Say NDC for ye Ghana for their NPP for mo so mo ye Ghana for. Na me wakukuduro money a masunda ya kasa mefa NPP for no. Me nyonko journalist bi no friend oh message in there e koyie pa na momo so obefa party for them say crash stop right there un mafutu afako Mahama mo journalist am mo Ghana why na timi akondem Mahama say ofa NDC for na me ka say mefa NPP for there o say mefa mo anya sa ye party no egu ayawdie edidija amani pan bedre omo nkeka omo ho enya djuma. I want to build the party again. I'll make sure say my family djuma nti munya gidie na mo fele forms. Make out transition messinam. Omo ye propaganda oh ena montoa me so Ghana obi ani ha okọ election first time o win nti mo ma me second chance omo boa omo nka no kore. 1 Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for the first time our prison kura ne to abama. 2 Professor Buzia o winning for the first time. 3 Dr. Hilary Man o winning for the first time. 4 Rollins o winning for the first time. 5 Mahama o winning for the first time. So o pesa o to abama obi a o de ye to abama wa kanu kure no o se kofuo ko mienu na na do ko miensa. So by your own logic o be ko 9 and 9 na and 9 no and 9 is 16 years 16 years na me gina hayi na be 65 years old executive homes are me a guy pa 65 na 65 we what is 16 years be kan ho 81 na me na mbo nipa ene makase metena ho 81 years